Today is round 2 of the startup. Today is our opportunity to get to know the teams that managed to find a mentor last time around and start to see if our mentors are doing a good job. So let's say hello to them. Please welcome Adrian Fortino.
Oh, hey. Hey.
Adrian, Ohmer, Evan Ufer, and Jake Cohen.
Oh, just a skip over from this. See that?
So here's how it's going to go down today. The first assignment for these teams was to figure out if anybody cared about what they're doing. So this is the challenge that they were all posed. Every successful company has customers. Do you have customers? For the next 2 weeks, you will focus on identifying and understanding your customers. You will need to go out, find, and talk to as many customers as possible. Find out who your customers are. What do they need or want? You should target talking to at least 100 people. The more in-person contacts you have, the better, and you should document what you find with pictures, videos, words, etc. The format for this round is as follows. Adrian's teams are going to come out. They each have 2 minutes to present their customer discovery findings. At that point, Adrian will give them feedback, and eventually, when the clock stops, Adrian will pick one team to advance forward. That team is automatically in receipt of $1,000 for their efforts today, and the second one of Adrian's teams that will go forward is chosen by you. I would ask you to please be fair and choose based on teams that do a good job with this assignment and not teams that are just popular or fun. So please take your vote responsibly because it means a lot to the people who have put the work and the effort into this. We're going to follow that format all the way through. We should end up with at least 8 teams, but we'll see what happens. So without further ado, please welcome Adrian's teams to the stage. First up is Argo, and your 2 minutes starts, we'll say, right now.
Hi, I'm Andrea, this is Dania, and we're Argo. We took a long, hard look at our community last semester and just about how hard it is for people to talk to each other and make friends. We thought, like, when you come in here, did you say hello to the person next to you? Did you say hi? It's funny because you'd think at U of M it'd be really easy to meet a lot of cool, genuine people, but it's not really like that. We talked to 109 different people at the school about their social lives here, and we learned a couple of things. One, that people want genuine connection. Studies show that our strong social ties actually increase our health and general well-being. But sometimes we get stuck in a group, like our freshman friends, and we get too comfortable. 58 out of 109 students that we talked to said that they wanted to get out of their bubble but weren't actively doing anything to change that. And it's interesting because we don't have any opportunities to do this. We have classes or maybe Tinder, but those conversations are not so great. I mean, think about it. It's like, what is your major, or you cute, wanna hang? So like, what do you do if you wanna make a friend? Just a friend, but a real friend.
The last and most important thing that we learned is that students need an excuse to talk to somebody else. We stood in Mason Hall and asked students to rate themselves out of 10 how comfortable they were talking to somebody new. On average, they told us 9.5 out of 10. But then we asked these same students to go and do it right in front of us to meet someone new. And the blood drained from their faces. They didn't want to do it because they had no reason to talk to that person or because they felt that they needed an excuse. So we learned that these students who are more than capable of holding conversations wouldn't do it without an excuse. So we were like, okay, excuse, then let's be that excuse. So we sent students out on blind friend dates. So for the past 3 months, we've gotten Wolverines in the room with another student who wants to be there. There's no curated profiles, there's no romantic pretense, and everything is happening in real life. So we've sent 70 students out on 45 dates, and on average, they rate their experience at 8.4 out of 10, and would 9.2 out of 10 do this again. This tells us that Argo is working. Thank you.
Very good, thank you, Argo. Next up, Bellies Up. Are we waiting for an audio visual here? Go. There we go.
Hey guys, we're Bellies Up. In case you don't remember, we're the company that sells pocket tees and bottle openers. which are specially designed to do 3 things: shotgun a beer, open a bottle, and it's a nice looking keychain. So we did a little bit of market research, and it's a 100 people sample size, 2 questions, yes or no questions. Question 1, are you interested? Question 2, would you be willing to buy it for 15 bucks? So we did research in UMich, Georgetown, and ASU. For question 1, we got like 70% of people very interested. And for question 2, we got about 60% of people who are willing to buy. So I talked to all of them in person at UMich, and there are 2 polarizing results that I got. Either like, heck yeah, dude, like it's a genius idea, I would totally buy it when it's finally out. Or they're like, oh no, sorry, I'm not a drinker, so I'm not very interested. Well, also interestingly though, I got approached by a fraternity. They're like, he and his brothers are like, this is a dope idea, we're gonna buy it as a group when it's finally out. It's a pretty big market we're talking about here. We're talking about all the college kids across the United States who drink. Actually, every one of you sitting here who drinks is one of our potential customers. And 60% of that is a pretty big number.
Okay, that's bellies up. I'm not sure if the person who says, heck yeah, dude, this is totally dope, is your middle-aged mentor, if that counts as customer discovery. Next up is Valet Hound.
Hi, I'm Yosef Rosensey, and I'm here from Valet Hound. And in case you don't remember, we are an enterprise software for valets. And so during our customer discovery process, we discovered that the problem that we are trying to solve is customer dissatisfaction. So for example, when our judges show up at a restaurant at either opening time or closing time, they'll likely get in easy and out, pretty quickly. Whereas you guys, the enterprise, entrepreneurship hour, if you show up all at once during peak hours, you obviously will. Our customer discovery suggests that one of you will complain to the manager about either wait time, or that this guy in the front is going to lose his ticket, or that bad luck Brian is going to get his car scratched. Now, because we are business to business, we decided to focus primarily on problems that within the valet companies are going to cause this customer dissatisfaction. So, for example, if you look at our top graphic, you'll see that everything but the red slide tells us that during the business times, only 40% of staff are on hand. Now, if you look at our next graphic, the price table, you'll see that it shows the 3 cost categories to valet park. Casino exclusive members, for example, will be paying will have a free valet, whereas if you are going to park at the South Florida boat this weekend, it'll be up to $60. Now the last graphic on the bottom right, which shows us how companies operate on average, is about 35% of their maximum capacity for movements measured on their fastest day. The consequences of these statistics are as follows. 1, many drivers work part-time, which translates into large variations in turnover rates between locations within the same contractor.
I'm afraid I'm going to have to stop you. Your time is up, but thank you very much, Valet Hound. Bringing it home for Team Fortino, Woodside Distributors.
Oh, hey, didn't see you there. Did you know customers often worry about reliable service when shopping online? Woodside Distributors has processed over 71,000 transactions in the past 2 years. To improve our quality service, we asked our customers what they wanted.
After analyzing feedback from customers, these are the things that they care about most. On-time, speedy delivery. To do this, Woodside Distributors has partnered with Fulfillment by Amazon, which ships over 3 million boxes per day. Emails read. Our customers expect that their emails are read within 24 hours, and we answer most emails within 5 hours. Returns. Customers expect effortless, easy returns. We generously match Amazon's 30-day policy, as well as often pay for return shipping.
Oh, hey, it's you again. Did you know Woodside Distributors fulfills unmet demand through analyzing sales data? Come with me. One product that Woodside Distributors sells is the Thunderhead Showerhead, a top-rated product on Amazon. As you can see here, we ran an analysis to understand consumer behavior. Here, you can see the breakdown of customers that bought one showerhead and those that bought two. We noticed that there is a demand for a 2-pack, so why not offer it? We bundled 2 showerheads at a discounted price, and the percentage of orders for 2 showerheads increased 500%. This increased our revenue 22% for this product.
While we value feedback from our customers, sales data doesn't lie. Consumers never told us that they wanted the 2-pack option. However, we concluded from the data that demand existed.
You guys have 15 seconds. You good? Okay, let's get all 4 of Adrian's teams back out here. Mr. Fortino, your presentation feedback and notes start now.
Okay. Good job, everybody. Argo, when you guys talk to your 109 folks, what is that like core missing piece that the respondents had from their current groups? Like, what is that thing that you think that they would, but they clearly don't?
Yeah, mostly everyone we talked to came in with like friends from high school and just had this established group and just like had the same friends and like rarely had any opportunity to like go actually meet new people, and just whatever classes or happenstance they were in was whatever situation they landed in, and that sort of sustained through their whole undergrad sort of situation.
Okay. Kevin, did you get any pre-orders when you were going through some of this work?
Yeah, like I talked about during the presentation, we got approached by a fraternity, and I think we're gonna give them, they got us pre-orders, like as a group.
Like real pre-orders, like?
Yeah, like they're pretty straightforward about it.
All right. High confidence pre-orders, all right. And guys, the Woodside guys, how much more did you make in margin from that packaging that you found on the 2-pack? You know, the 2-pack.
So on the 1-pack of that item, we can run a 6 to 8% margin.
Yeah.
Our price fluctuates every 15 minutes. On a 2-pack, we were able to make only 5 to 6% margin. However, it was on a higher number, so it's a higher dollar amount, which is what we're going for.
Gross, yeah. On the volume of it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Feedback for Valet Hound?
Yeah, and then Valet Hound, you great job. I think the question still remains for me is the consumer versus valet. Like who has the most pain in this operation? I think you talked about both of them. But when we talked, it was the valet that you were most concerned about operationally.
Right. So the valet, we're trying to make it more operationally efficient for a valet to park, receive orders so that he can get the cars, and then this will naturally help customer satisfaction.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Any other comments from any of the other mentors? All right, Adrian, you have to make somebody happy. Don't do a Steve Harvey and say the wrong name.
This is a tough one, guys. I think from both the what was presented now, the work put in that I've seen over the course of the month, there are really 2 groups that I think have really committed to this. And I think all 4 are clearly there. This is more than a project, and so I know that. But I think that the 2 groups that really speak to me for what we're looking for in the startup are Woodside and Argo. All right? And I think that as tough as it is between those 2, I gotta go with Woodside.
Okay, Woodside, you are moving forward. Congratulations. Guys, it's your turn. Let's be clear. Team 1 is Argo, Team 2 is Bellies Up, and Team 3 is Valet Hound. I'm going to go backstage and see if text to vote is actually working, so vote, vote, vote. Okay, guys, the votes are in, and the audience agreed with you, Adrian. Argo, you are also moving forward. Congratulations. Bellies Up, Valet Hound, good luck. Don't go away just yet. Adrian, Ohmer, are you ready
I am.
to have your teams
Yep.
present?
Let's do it.
I think we are going to swap out our visuals. And it looks like we're up first, Blitz. Here we go, Team Blitz, your time starts now.
It's 10 a.m. on game day. You're at a tailgate and you weren't planning to go to the game, but your friends convinced you to go and now you need a ticket. You're looking for one close by so you don't have to leave the tailgate and lose your friends. It'll be nearly impossible to sort through Facebook and find someone who's both nearby and has an available ticket. And who wants to waste an hour on game day scrolling through Facebook groups when you can be having fun with your friends? That's where Blitz comes in, our solution to buying and selling tickets on game day. Sellers pin their ticket to their location, buyers choose the cheapest ticket nearby and pay with the click of a button. No need for cash. All of a sudden, your problem is solved. You don't even have to leave the tailgate, and later on, you'll get to see Michigan win in the Big House with 100,000 of your closest friends.
So we spoke with and surveyed a lot of students about this problem. We found that 2/3 of season ticket holders had experienced it. They had planned on going to a game, but ended up skipping last minute, putting their ticket to waste. Of all the people we surveyed, we found that 80% of people want a better way to buy and sell student football tickets. This past football season, we also performed a few market studies. One of them involved soliciting tickets at regular intervals in order to determine how price and volume change over time. We found that the ratio of buyers to sellers changed by threefold on game day compared to beforehand. Now that's interesting considering that 25% of season tickets go to waste each game day. When we followed up with these buyers and sellers, we realized that sellers aren't as interested in price or money on game day as they are in convenience. They're interested in having a good time. Buyers are similarly interested, except they want to go to the game. Our goal is to close this gap between buyers and sellers. We want to make it easy and convenient for buyers to find sellers, and for sellers to find buyers. And we're also speaking with the athletic department. They love our idea, they want more people to go to the game, and we're working to make this the official University of Michigan platform for student aftermarket tickets. After we launch our game day product, it makes sense to extend this into other similar markets, such as before game day tickets, tickets for football, tickets for hockey, basketball, etc. Thank you guys very much. We can't wait to see you next round.
Thank you very much, Blitz. Hey, you two might want to talk to each other, the Adrians. I think you just found a sales opportunity for Bellies Up in one of those slides. Up next, we have Prediction.
Hi. So as you can see, I don't have any visuals, but I want to tell you a story. I want to tell you a story about a child, Jane. Jane was 9 years old and 2 years ago was diagnosed with cancer. She went through 2 rounds of chemotherapy and ultimately received a bone marrow transplant, none of which worked. Jane and her family had one option, an experimental therapy where doctors would take her immune cells and engineer them to fight her cancer. This is the future of cancer therapy. However, when these engineered cells are put back into a patient's body, they can become overactivated. When this occurs, patients go into shock. Unfortunately, this is exactly what happened to Jane. About a week after receiving her experimental cells, Jane began to get sick. She was admitted to the intensive care unit, and ultimately she stopped breathing. This is where our first customers actually came to us. They came with us with the request to help save Jane's lives. We're Prediction, and Prediction helps save the lives of patients like Jane. Our technology measures a patient's immune response in approximately 10 times faster than existing technologies. Her physicians use this information to select the right medication and reverse her disease process. Following treatment, Jane's condition rapidly improved. So we took this information since Jane, and we've talked to over 100 stakeholders. These are cancer physicians, intensive care unit physicians, as well as pharmaceutical and diagnostic strategic partners. Basically what they said all boiled down to the same thing. Currently, all patients like Jane are treated blindly. A tool which rapidly measures a patient's immune function would transform the way that physicians are able to care for patients like Jane. Our technology, MicroKine, does this. It measures a patient's immune function in 30 minutes in a single drop of blood. So we're not thinking about just patients like Jane or other children with cancer. There's approximately 10,000 patients with this problem like with Jane has that are in intensive care units across the United States each day.
Thank you, Prediction. Skillet, you're up.
I'm hungry.
Go for it.
You know when you're sitting in your apartment building and you're doing homework or you're watching Netflix and you just totally lose track of time. All of a sudden it's 8 o'clock and you're starving. So what do? Maybe you pick up the phone and you order a pizza, again. Or maybe you go with option 2 and you just forget about dinner tonight. It's too much of a hassle. Or maybe you go to the grocery store. But on a day like today, where it's 10 degrees outside, that option kind of sucks. So we want you to forget about all of those. We have your new go-to dinner option. Skillet is making dinner exciting and easy again. No more looking up recipes online or going to the grocery store and hunting down ingredients. We make grab-and-go dinner kits with the pre-measured ingredients for you to cook your next meal, and we sell them in the lobby of your apartment building. Our kits, the coolest part is that our kits are sold in smart self-service kiosks for $7.50 a serving. All you have to do is swipe your card, open the fridge, grab your favorite dinner. It's that easy. Over the past 3 weeks, we've talked to 150 different customers and heard the same thing. People are busy, but they are cooking at least 4 times a week. In addition, people are having a hard time planning ahead. And so they're choosing what to cook at the last minute at least once a week, which is really inconvenient. So what are we doing with all this information? Our next step is to bring you dinner. We're taking all this feedback and hitting the streets. And we're doing pop-up testing around Ann Arbor and Michigan campus. So if you're planning a date night this weekend, or you're just pressed for time, vote for us and let us bring us a dinner you'll love. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Skillet. I don't know, if they get together with Bellies Up and Blitz, it's a party. Okay, next up, WagePit.
Hello. 27 million people every day play League of Legends. Now, if you don't know what League of Legends is, you're the minority, because it's actually the most played game in history of all time in the entire world. Now, this giant market hasn't had the potential to play for cash prizes until now. That's where WagePick comes in. I'm Kyle Zapatel. I'm a freshman here at the University of Michigan, and I'm the programmer of WagePit. Oh, that's a lot of people. So we did a little bit of customer discovery. We started out getting involved with the local League of Legends community here at the University of Michigan, and we ended up sending out a form to over 300 students here at the University of Michigan. And we found some pretty interesting statistics. So a common question we get is, Kyle, how do you know these people have money to play on your website? So what we asked was, how much money have you spent in the past month on League of Legends? We found that 50% of people said they have at least spent $5 to $10 on League of Legends in the past month. Now, a surprising amount of people have actually spent $50 to $100, even more than $100 in the past month on League of Legends. So another interesting statistic we found relates directly to our product. Would you use an online service to place wagers on League of Legends games? And we found that 35% of people said they would, and they would use this online service. So 35% of people equates to 9 million people daily. That's a huge market. So just to sum up, thank you. WagePit, hopefully he'll be using WagePit soon.
Perfect. Let's get all of Adrian's teams out here. You can stay. And you know, if those League of Legends players used Argo, just think where that number would go.
What was that? I didn't even hear it. What do I need?
Do you need this?
No,
No.
you keep that.
Oh,
Yeah.
hang on.
Yeah.
How are you crowding him, dude? Give us some room. Come on now.
All right, Adrian, what questions do you have for your teams?
For all of you, good job. I'm not going to try to do the setup where I pick my favorite two because that's going to be way too hard. Blitz, how did you choose the game day focus? Kind of the first time we heard you, you were going to do everything, and now you're just doing game day. Can you talk me through that process really fast?
So it's been really nice to focus down on one specific area. We found that game day is less crowded by other people, so specifically Facebook dominates before game day. It's been really nice to focus down on game day itself, where we can be the best and only solution.
Got it. Prediction. Can you just quantify? I didn't hear a dollar amount for that market size. I heard I know the kind of number of patients, but can you kind of quantify it a step up?
Yeah, so our initial market that we're targeting, it's patient-wise, it's really small, but what makes it kind of a compelling place to start is that the price point for therapy, which is kind of where we come in as a companion diagnostic, is approximately $500,000 per patient.
Okay.
So that kind of pain from the provider and pharmaceutical market.
So the $500,000 per patient times, you said 10,000 patients per day
Yeah,
are
it's
in this
an
situation.
initial market of probably about $2.5 billion.
Got it. Okay, thank you. Skillet, talk to me about kind of the focus that you did around... Talk to me. Declare it. Around the kiosk model. Kind of what was the appeal in your customer discovery around that, and kind of what did your customers tell you?
Our customers told us that they needed this to be part of their daily routine, and they didn't want to go out of their way for it. Convenience is really the play here, and so we saw two major demographics when we were talking to people that were really attracted to this. One was the 20 to 30, and the other was an older demographic that makes more money. And we thought the 20 to 30 have fewer options to choose from because of their lower economic
You're running out of time, Adrian.
Great.
If you've got
Okay.
WagePit.
Got it.
Put it in their apartment building.
WagePit. The obvious question here is DraftKings, FanDuel, totally illegal, or states are coming down on them pretty hard. Don't want to say they're totally illegal. Why is this not that?
It's a completely different model, cash for competition. It's not
And
based
I have
off
to
of
stop
other
you.
people's performance.
Sorry.
Okay.
All right. Who are you picking, Adrian Ohmer?
Yeah, it's a tough one. Waiting.
Okay,
Waiting.
yeah, I know. This one's actually harder than I thought it would be. Not to say
Credit
that.
to you guys.
Yeah.
Who did you think was going to win?
Thanks, J-Lo.
Okay, yeah. For this one I have to go with prediction.
Okay, prediction, you are still in. Congratulations. Woo. Blitz, Skillet, and WagePit. Blitz is team 1, Skillet is team 2, WagePit is team 3. You are all also welcome to talk or plead your case while our students are voting. Did any of you guys have any other thoughts on these teams while we're waiting for the votes to crank through? There's about a 30-second lag on those. Who were you impressed by? Tell the truth.
I was impressed by the sort of work by the Blitz team to sort of focus in, right? Learn and sort of move down into a focused niche there, and then really execute on that.
Jake, you've been quiet today. Who do you like?
I like the presentation from the League of Legends gaming, voting, betting thing. Although it would have been cool to hear a little more about why it's not illegal.
Was kind of taking too many dramatic pauses.
No, it was good. You made your point. Dramatic. You made your point about the size of the market, and the other piece around, are you going to be? Is it legal, illegal? That thing, I just still don't understand it really, but it sounds legal-ish.
Ladies and gentlemen, the votes are in, and Blitz is moving forward for sure. Thank you to everybody.
It's just, I'm sorry. Every time. Everybody.
Wow, maybe this is why Adrian Fortino won last year. He keeps calling all these teams.
Give that back to them.
Next up, Evan, I believe it's time for your teams. AimTech, you looks like you're ready to go. Hit it.
About 1 in 10 kids in this crowd, about 25 of us, are born early and often struggle to breathe. With just a few days of care, these kids can live long, healthy, and productive lives. Unfortunately, current equipment is too expensive, difficult to use, and requires a continuous supply of electricity, and so it's not reaching most of the world. So our NeoVent, which I've brought here, costs 1/100th to 1,000th the price point of current pressure devices. It's been custom designed for developing countries and is a one-connection add-on to the treatment that they're currently using. And so we're really catering to families that are earning $2 a day with their premature child, people just like you and me that happen to earn less. And so we've interviewed over 100 clinicians, medical folk all around the world in person, from people from doctors in Burundi to respiratory therapists in Kenya to clinicians and hospital administrators in Nepal. These are clinicians who are caring for over 1,000, or who are delivering providing care for thousands of infants every year. I'll highlight two: the chair of the board emeritus of Thrive Health, an organization that provides life-saving care for over 55,000 infants every year. Eric Cheng, the co-founder of Respiratory Therapists Without Borders, whose organization has over 200 respiratory therapists all around the world. These people see our device as a unique, life-saving tool, and they're already asking to buy it. Globally, over 1 million infants are dying every year because they are born too early and struggle to breathe. If we win this competition, we'll use our funding for our clinical trials this summer, and from there, we hope to have our product to the market as early as 2018. With your help, we'd like to change that. Thank you.
Thank you, AimTech. Next up, we have AOAMed.
Hi.
AOAMed, take it away.
How many of you have parents or grandparents who spent time in a hospital or a nursing home? Did any of you watch as they were transferred from the chair to the bed? Perhaps instead you watched as they were strapped into a sling just to be moved. I know this seems dramatic, but these are the two most common ways that patients are currently being transferred in care facilities. Hello again. My name is Ariana Carley, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of AOAMed, a medical device company focused on solving problems associated with patient transfer. Since I was 14 years old, I've been working and volunteering in hospitals and nursing homes. Essentially, I've spent the past 7 years of my life doing customer discovery and immersing myself in the healthcare industry. And I've met a lot of people. I've met nurses like Jackie and Kim who lost the only job they'd ever had because of back and shoulder injuries that they got by lifting and moving patients. I met patients like Bill, Betsy, and Wilbur, who are made to feel dehumanized by being lifted and moved in a sling. And patients like Birdie, who suffered internal damages when she was dropped during the patient transfer process and had to be moved to senior living. Since then, AOAMed has met with over 1,000 people in the healthcare industry, from insurance providers to the FDA to people at other medical companies like Stryker. And we've learned a lot, but mostly we've learned about people in need of a better solution. So as you're voting today, think about the millions of people in this $20 billion industry cost that is occurring every day. And think about how your vote could allow us to get a product to market that would make these millions of lives better. And vote for AOAMed and have your vote make a difference.
Thank you,
so much.
AOAMed. Next up is Nerble. Go for it.
Good afternoon. My name is Brandon Hodges. I'm a member of Team Nerble. Really excited to be here with you today to talk about the progress that we've had with our customer discovery and gaining insights from our various stakeholders. So let's frame the issue for a bit of what we're trying to solve. Millions of people around the world suffer from some form of highly severe speech pathology issue that renders them unable to talk or function or move. Imagine being a prisoner inside your own body, not being able to communicate with your families or your loved ones, not being able to provide insight about the pain that you're going through in terms of your physical condition because you can't communicate. Our technology is seeking to solve this very issue for millions of people suffering from high to severe speech and motor impairments. Our technology allows real-time device control of digital interfaces and devices for these people. We're giving people a way to voice giving people a voice for their conditions and changing the world at the same time. We talked to over 190 patients who have been inflicted with this kind of issue, and one of the things that we discovered was it was our very customer discovery that allowed people to communicate for the very first times with their families. That's powerful. That's something that validated the need for this in the entire market just in that instance. We've also talked to a variety of medical professionals who said that this would allow them to test more people, not being able to turn people away at their medical facilities, and they've also been instrumental in helping us understand the landscape of the healthcare industry and in terms of Medicare, Medicaid, different insurance considerations that we'll have to take into account. We've also talked to a variety of corporate entities who've shown interest in licensing our technology. This was pivotal for us because we realized that we have an application that we can be using across the board in a variety of different industries, not just medical. So that includes the gaming and virtual reality markets, assistive technology, and also the automotive industry. We are Team Nerble. Help us connect your mind to the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Nerble. Bringing it home for Team Evan is Wildfire Media. And I understand you have a video presentation, yes?
No, we don't. That was Woodside.
Oh, never mind, disregard. Go for it.
Businesses have been using traditional marketing tactics like ads and commercials for years. People are learning to tune them out. Companies are changing the way they market themselves. Instead of going to the customer, they're bringing the customer to them by offering interesting content like blogs, podcasts, pictures, and videos. Businesses need to create valuable, compelling, and relevant content to reach their audiences. But they don't know what content is truly engaging. We're Wildfire Media, and we help businesses create written content that people want to read.
We've heard from 135 business owners using content marketing, and 2/3 of them rely on written content. The majority of these businesses use in-house marketing employees, but 3/4 of them have found that their current content isn't engaging enough. And 44% want the help of an outside marketing agency to produce better content. But enough statistics. We want to tell you about one of those businesses.
Snapsuits is a company founded last fall by a Michigan student. They sell affordable custom suits online, and their business is exploding. Snapsuits told us they need to create more engaging content as their audience grows. We know how to accurately model audience interests, so we know exactly what content will get people talking. Snapsuits was really excited about our ideas, and after meeting our team, hired us to turn our proposals into realities.
In the words of one of the marketers we spoke to, businesses are desperate to solve this problem, and there's no better way to validate a problem than getting customers. Our team has been continuing to get clients since our first month in business. With our marketers and data scientists figuring out what content spreads, and our designers and writers creating that content, the Wildfire team has what it takes to solve this huge problem in the market. Thank you.
Thank you, Wildfire. You guys can hang out here. I'll ask the rest of Evan's team to come back. Evan, buddy, you got a tough decision here, I think. Why don't you give your team some feedback?
Yeah. First off, I mean, I'm just blown away by how good those presentations were. You guys did awesome. Every one of you, we've met a bunch of times, we've talked a lot. You guys are super open to feedback and took what we talked about and turned it into like really solid presentations. So congrats to all of you guys. I also happen to think that these are 4 groups that have amazing concepts that are changing. I mean, 3 of these things are changing people's lives in terms of med devices that are, the passion that you guys show for these businesses is crazy. And one of them is this giant B2B business problem that we all know is massive, and every company you talk to has an issue with it. So my problem is going to be picking between these. I want to ask one question to everybody, because I think that there's this moment when you're doing customer discovery where you hear or talk to someone who says something that's just like, oh my gosh, there's such a major opportunity here. And like, if you've had that moment, that means that you should do this business and you should continue on with it. And so what was that moment for each one of you, maybe starting?
This last summer when I was in Nepal talking to a bunch of clinicians about this, one of the pediatricians was like, this is amazing. You know, I can't believe that this is happening and that this is here. This is a real breakthrough. Can you bring it over? Like, can we start using it now? And I said, well, I'll bring it next summer and we'll start testing. But that was like that moment for me.
I think that moment for me occurred quite a while ago. It was actually one of the people on the slides I talked about, Birdie. And I was there when she fell, and when they were lifting her out of her chair and they dropped her, and she fell. And I actually talked with her again after and talked to her about the process when she was moved to senior assisted living, when before she'd been living on her own. And to think about a product that could have an impact on her quality of life and the other millions of people who are having the same problem really made me want to pursue it.
I think I alluded to it in the presentation, but having people that have never really had an adequate way of communicating at all, right? So having the ability to tell your loved one
I'm
for the
afraid
first time in
time
customer
is up.
discovery that I love you.
You got 2 seconds.
You could, while you vamp and say, I'm going to pick, he can talk over you, so.
That's all right. We talked about it. So I wanted the audience to hear, but
super important too.
Yeah. This is. I think there's two teams that stand out to me as being just like. I'm hoping that the audience saves the other one that I don't pick, because I think AOAMed. I mean, that your passion for this is crazy, and you've been doing it for so long and you're so passionate about it that comes through in a presentation. I thought you probably had the best presentation. And Nerble, I think that the market opportunity for you guys, especially outside of medical, is crazy, and I think there's a huge opportunity. So I think I have to go with Nerble, but I think that I really hope that you guys help save AOE.
Okay, and if you want to take the opportunity while you're out here and getting your number, feel free to advocate or offer to have Skillet cook dinner for people or whatever you like while you guys vote.
I would have let Wildfire talk.
Yeah.
I thought we were like hearing from an executive at a big ad agency on that pitch. It was like very, very polished and really professional. So.
Okay. Anybody want to go on the line and say they would have picked differently?
No, we don't want to go out in public and say.
No.
Maybe quietly behind stage.
Tough decision. You guys did a great job. Tough decision.
Yeah,
sure.
Really quality group.
Great. This was kind of like a Ted Cruz, Donald Trump primary. It was extremely close. But I have that. Number 3.
AOE Medical took it though, so congratulations, AOE Med. We have only three more teams, because Jake was so darn confident, he only took three to win. So it's now time for Jake Cohen's team. First up, DeCODE.
I want you to imagine a scenario where you are a minority born and raised in Detroit. You made good grades in high school, however, because of finances, college doesn't look like it's going to be an option. This is because you are part of the 54% of Detroit minorities that live below the poverty line. That means that an out-of-state student pays more for a semester at Michigan than your family makes in an entire year. So, what are your options? Option 1, you can get a menial job making minimum wage and earning about an annual salary of about $20,000 a year. That is still putting you $3,000 below the national poverty line. Option 2, if you can get $5,000 to invest in vocational school, you can learn to be an auto mechanic and up your annual salary to close to $40,000 a year. Admittedly, an improvement. However, what if there was a solution where you could invest both your time and dedication, but not your money, and still increase your income? Well, there is, and that's DeCODE. DeCODE is a nonprofit organization dedicated to providing free coding classes to Detroit minorities in order to help diversify the growing tech sector in Southeast Michigan. With our program, our students would graduate seeing base salaries of close to $70,000 a year. That is more than triple the salary that option 1 would be giving them. So, in order to validate the need for our services, we spoke to some career connecting organizations within Detroit. Focus Hope, one of these organizations, told us that the 2 most important things for these people are getting out of poverty and having hope for the future. And so this is why they continued, to explain that because there's many programs investing in STEM programs for high school students, once they graduate, there is no longer a way for them to accessibly get on the path to follow what they believe in. And so this is why many of these organizations agreed that our services are not only welcomed in Detroit, but they are needed. Thank you.
Thank you, DeCODE. Okay, right behind you, keep it moving. Mate, please. Hit the clock, here we go, you're up.
Hello. So, as a jewelry designer, I have found the problem with the jewelry industry is that jewelry it seems to be made for the viewer more so than the wearer, and I think jewelry should be fun to wear. So the way my brand addresses this is by making playful mechanisms that they're beautiful, simple, aesthetically pleasing pieces, but they're more than just that, because I feel that people want more. So when it comes to customer discovery, it's been a bit different for my venture. One, in that it started 1.5 years ago after the first iteration of this collection. I've just always been trying to get feedback, learn what people love about it, what I could do better. The other way it's different is that it's been more customers discovering me than me discovering customers. People would ask where they could purchase a piece, and I'd have to say oh, I made it, it's not for sale, and I'm trying to change that now. So in the past few weeks, I've been doing more formal interviews with people, learning. I've really learned a lot, actually. One of the things I find really interesting that I've learned has been male interest in my collection. It's designed to be a unisex collection, but guys that just never wear jewelry seem to express a particular interest in the collection, so I thought that was great. I also learned the best home for my little mechanisms would be more so than typical jewelry stores, design stores like Arango in Miami, Nora in Detroit, places like that. I've realized a lot of stuff, made some big decisions on branding and editorial things, and the next step now is finishing all of that, and in Detroit in spring break I will get my pieces, and after spring break I will be in Detroit filming my editorial film, and I am excited to do so, and I'm even more excited to show all of you.
All right, thank you, Mate. Batting cleanup today, try and keep a little energy for them because last is not always best, but it might be. Trap Note, tell us what you learned.
Okay. Hi, we're Trap Note. We're making the world's first open world virtual reality game for mobile. So what's wrong with the current virtual reality landscape? It's prohibitively expensive. You have to buy a $600 Oculus Rift type device and run it off a high-spec PC computer. It's also you have to tether these two devices together with a physical cable, which limits you from turning around fully in the environment. Our solution is to work with this $15 Google Cardboard headset, which you put your smartphone inside, and it works with iOS and Android, and it immediately has an immersive virtual reality landscape. There's no tether, so you can do a full 360-degree turn, continuously turning around your world, and have a complete open world to explore. So we wanted to test this with different potential consumers, and tested with kids from CS Mott, from the gaming community, students here, and different families we knew. And here are our overall results. So we got a lot of positive feedback about how real the world felt, how immersive it was, and how much that made them want to come back and play it. So they really loved being able to freely navigate as much of this space as they wanted to, go anywhere they wanted to, look around wherever they wanted to. But we also got a lot of constructive criticism about how to make our controls more intuitive and to make our terrain more smoothly flowing together. We also have broken this down into the different individual testing groups, and each group told us how much they want the game, they were willing to pay for the game, and how interested that group was. So we were able to target which consumer groups we could focus on during launch. So really excited to bring open world virtual reality to as many people as possible, and thanks so much.
Cool, okay, let's get all three of Jake's teams out here. Jake, what do you got to say to your teams here?
Well, great job across the board. I think I'll just kind of go down the line. For DeCODE, really great that you went and talked to Focus Hope. I think that's important, right? There's organizations in the community that are working there, and you know, I would like to hear a little more about some of the other organizations you talked to as well, because I know you've been, you know, talking to folks in the city. But I thought that's a great anecdote from a customer discovery perspective. For jewelry, when you're doing customer discovery, it's kind of tough, right? To ask somebody what they think about, you know, art or aesthetic without showing them and letting them feel it, touch it, especially because what you're doing is about tactile. And so the customer discovery phase for you is probably pretty tricky right now. You want to get something out there, and so I think you'll have a lot more success of that once you do. It'll be a lot more of a learning for you. And then on TrapNote, I was impressed with what you did with CS Mott, you know, in terms of a first use case for an open world virtual reality. Like, I didn't intuitively think that that's the first place to go. Thought you'd be talking to kind of kids in their dorm rooms. And I thought that was a really creative, you know, customer discovery angle for you. Just as a headline, you know, obviously we'll have a winner here, but I would definitely like to help and work with all three of you because I haven't had enough of a chance to do it so far. And so with DeCODE for sure, when you come downtown, I'll introduce you to some other organizations down there. And beyond this competition, I think this is a great process, but you've got a lot of work that you're going to be doing ahead of you, and I'd love to help the three of you guys. So we do a drum roll here?
No, just pick.
Just pick. So like I said, all three rosters, it's hard to compare these three companies. They're totally different. You got nonprofit, jewelry. Later that same day, tech. What's that? Yeah, fair enough. I'm gonna go with TrapNote for this competition.
Okay, congratulations, DeCODE Mate. Okay, DeCODE is moving forward. Congratulations. We have one late-minute adjustment because of the lag on your voting. There's one more team moving forward based on audience vote. It's Wildfire. Congratulations. Thank you, everybody. Have a great weekend. We will see you with a guest speaker next Friday. Thank you, judges. For those of you who do not yet know me, I am the Executive Director for the Center for Entrepreneurship, Tom Frank, and the heretofore unseen co-instructor for this semester of 407. Today we begin something that is one of